You're lying in bed. The room is quiet. There is absolutely nothing happening. Suddenly, your mind pulls up a recording you never asked for. A small mistake. A totally forgotten, embarrassing moment. You physically cringe, feeling an intense discomfort over an event that ended years ago. This self-inflicted torture relies on a very specific set of conditions. You must be entirely alone, and it must be quiet. This is mental idle replay. When your brain runs out of external tasks to focus on, it defaults to the most unresolved, highly emotional files in its storage. Silence provides the empty bandwidth these stored memories need to capture your full attention. This relentless replay serves a biological purpose. Your brain is trying to protect you. Through a process called error correction encoding, your mind flags an embarrassing moment as a critical failure. Think of your social standing as a survival asset. When compromised, the brain generates an error message on your memory timeline. To prevent repetition, the system simulates the event repeatedly. It forces you to study the failure until you won't make the same mistake. The late-night cringe is a biological training simulation, obsessively studying your past to ensure your future survival. This training simulation is often fueled by a massive gap between your memory and the external reality. In reality, the people who witnessed your mistake moved on and forgot it almost immediately. But the spotlight effect bias forces your brain to operate as if an invisible audience is constantly logging your flaws. During a replay, your mind simulates the judgment of those witnesses, artificially keeping the emotional stakes alive. You find yourself suffering under the gaze of an audience that no longer exists outside of your own imagination. Neutral memories are fragile. We lose details of ordinary commutes or plain conversations within days. Embarrassing memories follow a different set of rules. A recurring memory indicates a highly functioning sense of self-awareness. The playback persists because the brain is searching for psychological closure it never received. When an embarrassing moment ends without resolution, it creates an incomplete emotional loop. The error message remains active because it hasn't been resolved. Your subconscious will endlessly rewrite the moment, trying to find a meaning or a lesson that justifies the emotional cost of the memory. To stop the playback, you must consciously intervene and provide the brain with the ending it is searching for. The loop begins to break when you strip away the emotional weight. Describing the event out loud with clinical, boring objectivity reduces the intensity of the error signal. The brain stops its search for meaning once you extract a specific, practical lesson from the event. By identifying what you actually learned, you satisfy the biological requirement for the replay. Shifting your focus to a purposeful external task starves the memory of the mental bandwidth it needs to spend. The deepest resolution comes from removing the judgment. Forgiving your past self for the mistake dissolves the shame that keeps the memory solidified in your storage. Once the error is converted into a lesson, the unclosed loop finally shuts. The memory loses its power, and the midnight replay stops.